And welcome to our Tuesday, May 6th live. We do these live streams at 12 noon, Monday through Thursday. I am your host, Deshone the Auto Advisor. And for those of you who've never met me, I have devoted the last 4 years to teaching people how to get the best deals on cars uh, and to learn all the mistakes that the industry, the car industry, would love for you to continue making because they make a lot of money when you make mistakes. And so, what we do here is we really just do questions and answers. I will teach on various topics that I feel are widely misunderstood, like the subject of leasing. And some of you who are new here, if you've never been here before, could you type a one in the chat if this is your first time on a stream? We do these streams about 60 to 90 minutes. And if you're going to get the most out of them, we just ask that you lock in, that you focus, because we will be talking about $1,000 mistakes. Nothing here that we'll be talking about over the next 60 to 90 minutes is hundreds of dollars. I'm not looking to, have you spend some time with me on a Tuesday to talk about how to save hundreds of dollars. No offense, I'm sure that's important to some people, but we are here to talk about things that are affecting your bank account by the thousands every year. And so if you got some time, I would love for you to hit the like button, like wherever you are, and let's just tap in. You can start to type your questions. This whole stream is sponsored by my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's a digital book. It's 5-star rated. Thank you to everyone who's rated the book and reviewed it. And it's normally $97, but for the next 30 minutes while you're watching, you can grab your copy for 75% off. That's our welcome offer. We always like to reward people for taking action. So you can get your copy for $24 instead of $97. And you can just head to my TikTok bio. You won't leave the show, my Instagram bio, the Facebook comments, or the YouTube comments, and use that link to get your welcome offer, and you'll have everything we teach. So as we go through this for the next 60 to 90 minutes, if you're like, whoa, Deshone, this is a lot. Wow, this is a lot. You can grab the book and make sure you have everything that I teach and everything in a step-by-step format. Okay? So I have my man Dolan moderating. Good afternoon. Thank you, Johnny Miller. Good to see you, Lil G. Again, guys, we are live. This is our Tuesday, May 6th live. We're live every Monday through Thursday at 12 noon. But we do rebroadcast these throughout the day. For those who cannot make them, you can watch the rebroadcast, or if you got to go back to work, we'll be rebroadcasting it for the rest of the day until our show tomorrow. All right, so let's start with the questions. You can feel free to get into it. Okay, do you have to get the extended warranty? This is a great question. This is car specific. A Honda, Acura, Toyota, in most cases, have always had low cost of maintenance and their parts are inexpensive. When you're buying an extended warranty or you're considering it, it is a risk product. It's an insurance plan. So that means you can pay for something and not use it, just like car insurance. You don't necessarily use your insurance until you have an accident. Same thing with an extended warranty. It's an insurance policy. So what you're trying to do with any insurance is see what is the likelihood that what I'm paying for this is going to exceed the price if I did need to use it. So in the case of a vehicle, when you're trying to determine what should I get an extended warranty, there's 2 things that are important. Does this vehicle that I'm purchasing have a high likelihood of things going wrong? We know, and some of you have had cars with histories, and we know there are certain cars, they tend to have things go wrong more than others. And what I like to do is go right to Google and type in repair cost, because this is the second item that we are looking at. We're looking at average repair cost. So if you're buying a 2010, a 2015 Nissan Altima, 2018, Hyundai Sonata, you go right to Google, you type in 2018 Hyundai Sonata average repair cost. Now, if you see that those typically go on the lower side, then that can take a lower set of risk where you might say, all right, likelihood of these things going wrong on this car is slim. But if you see that the repair cost is on the mid to higher side, that's shifting more risk to if something goes wrong, the cost for you to pay for it out of pocket will probably exceed the warranty. So we, like when I work for Mercedes-Benz, who's new here? Type a 1 in the chat if this is your first time on a stream with us. First time you've ever been here, type a 1 in the chat. First time. What's up, William? What's up, DJ Ant Nice? Good to see you. Maggie, good to see you. Enrique, good to see you. Miko, good to see you. Tetra Washington, good to see you. Jan, good to see you. Clairvoyant, good name. First time. If this is your first time, just type 1s in the chat so I know. I don't want to assume anyone knows who the heck I am and what my experience is. Daniel Thompson on Facebook. Great to see you. So I worked for Mercedes-Benz for 5 years, General Motors for 5 years, and I ran my own brokerage, my new car brokerage, called Cars from Home. I started it in 2016. Now, when I worked for Mercedes, when people were purchasing a Mercedes, what I would tell them is buy as much warranty as you can afford. Buy as much warranty as you can afford, because I knew that when something breaks on a Mercedes, nothing's under $1,000, and typically it's $2,000-$3,000. So a $4,000 warranty on a Mercedes-Benz is usually worth every dime. But at the same time, we have cars that, again, less likely for things to go wrong, and then when things go wrong, if they go wrong, they can typically be repaired inexpensively. Good to see you, Arms Reach. Welcome on Instagram. Shout out to the people checking in live. Great to see you all. So that's how you're measuring extended warranties. You don't want to get an extended warranty on a vehicle that has a low cost of repair and a low likelihood of things going wrong. You can then take your money, put a little bit to the side, have a little emergency fund, that same $3,500 that you would have put into the warranty, or $2,500, you put that to the side over the course of a year, 2 years, put $100 a month to the side, and then have that be your cushion just in case things go wrong. It's better for you to have that money in your bank account, and if things go wrong, you take it to your mechanic. You must have a local mechanic. You guys know I swear by local mechanics on cars that don't have warranties. Even if you have a Mercedes-Benz, a BMW, an Audi, something that is typically harder to work on and takes more of a specialized engineer, there are still plenty of places that have those. I mean, there's shops where they used to be Mercedes-Benz techs. Now they have their own shops. This is who you want, because their cost, their labor is going to be probably 1/3 of what a dealership is going to be. So these are the resources that, again, keep more money in our pocket while getting us the same level of service and experience. Okay, great question. Welcome, Uncle Nene. Good to see you. Uncle Nene. All right, listen. Nicole, good to see you. All right, Dolan, you can pull up the next question. Feel free to start typing your questions. And as we get more questions in, we'll try to get to all of them. You guys know we're not always able to, but we do try to get to all of them. How do I shop around for the best lease deal without affecting my credit? Well, first of all, you're talking to someone who's, just so you know, I've taught thousands of people to lease. I've gotten 7 leases. Now, when we look at what we are doing with a lease, first, we have to consider how we want the information presented to us. We are not letting dealers tell us how they're going to quote us. We are telling the dealers how to quote us. So we are going to have all our quotes. Thank you to everybody hitting the like button. I see you. I appreciate you. And shout out to the sharers. As I see people who share, I always like to give the shout outs to the people who share this broadcast with their friends and their family. And thank you to everyone who's giving gifts on TikTok and Instagram. Appreciate you all. So what we are doing when we're telling a dealership, you give us a quote with first month's payment only out of pocket, 12,000 miles per year, and put all the taxes and fees into the payment, assume tier 1. So we are presenting it now in my book and in my Shop with Deshone programs, my video checklist. I have all the templates. If you're going to do this yourself, you just need to remember how you're presenting this. You can call around to dealerships because there's two ways to do this. Shopping from home. Cars from home is about showing you guys, and I'm going to be showing you guys a ton of payments. And listen, I don't want you to feel bad because some of you are going to see that you've left a lot of money on the table. Part of what I have to do here, and I've been doing it for 3-4 years now, is I have to tell you the bad news. For 3 years, I did a masterclass called Everything You're Doing Wrong Buying, Selling, and Leasing Cars. We put probably over 15,000 people through that masterclass. But those were people who were willing to hear the bad news. They knew, Deshone, I got to hear the bad news to get to the good news. So as I show the difference in the prices that we get and the people who listen to me get, more than, forget about me, the people who are like you, the people who are on a live, saw a video, and then took action and learned and use our processes, the results they get compared to what you're getting. You're going to see, wow, they're saving $3,000, $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 more than me every single car. And so the Cars from Home system is about bidding. It's about turning your car purchase into a bid. You're no longer begging. You're no longer going into a dealership and begging one dealer to sell you a car, and then you go to another dealer and beg them, sell me this car, please take my money, please take my money. Meanwhile, you're not seeing the entire market and the people who would compete to get your business and gladly give you the service that you deserve by giving them a $30,000 to $50,000 to $100,000 transaction, which is what your car purchase is. So now so the big thing to understand right off the top is now I need to learn this bidding. I need to learn to get multiple offers. So you can do this by phone. You want to do this by phone, you can call around, but you must give them that information in order for you to compare the deals the right way. Lynette, good to see you. Christina, good to see you. Melvin, good to see you checking in. Rudolph, I see you. Once you actually give them that information, 12,000 miles per year, first month's payment only, due at signing, taxes and fees in the payment, assume tier one. I want the tier one offer. Even if you think might not qualify. Now, if you got a credit score above 670, all your FICO scores, most of you will qualify for most tier one leases. So you want to see, what does this look like as I get my offers? Once you get your offers in this format, you can use the 1% rule as the gauge. The 1% rule is been around for more than 20 years. Everyone who leases and who's savvy, we understood if your lease payment is 1% of the MSRP or less, you stole the car. That includes taxes, that includes fees. You're still in the car. So example, we're looking at a $30,000 car, Hyundai Sonata or a Hyundai Elantra, $30,000 car. When we shop all our offers, if that lease payment is $300 per month, with only $300 due at signing. In other words, I show up, here's $300. Good to see you, GDTV. Thank you for checking in on YouTube. Once I give you that $300, that's my payment for the next 35 months. So that's a very, very low percentage of the car you're paying. It's a 1% rule. Now, in order to get a 1% lease, you need a great lease program, which means the bank has to be supporting the car, rebates, incentives, and then you need the biggest discount, the dealer who's going to give you the biggest discount. Now, one of those we can control. One of them we can't. Which one can't we control? And for those of you who are new here, we don't play around here. But my people who are moving, and again, I'll show you, like a lot of people, we got a lot of people who've been following us, using our processes. They're locked in. They're not casually on a live here. We're not casually here talking. They are locked in. Like, boom, okay, I hear you. They're answering, they're typing, they're not, vacuuming in the kitchen and trying to hear. You can't do. We're talking about your second most expensive purchase of your life. It's going to be, you got to lock in. You got to challenge yourself to block out the distractions while we're on this stream, because this is your money. And if you don't take your money seriously, the car salesman will take your money seriously. Oh, I like that. Ah, praise the Lord. God is good. You don't take your money seriously, the car salesman will take your money seriously. Man. So, all right, now somebody remind me the question I asked. I got so happy about that little catchphrase that I forgot who we were. So I know we were discussing. Okay, we're talking about the 1% rule. So now one of the things we can't control is the bank. We don't know what the lease program is on a car. So when we shop cars, we are going to now look at multiple offers, and here's what you're going to see. Now I'm going to show you an example of how we know or how we expose where the dealers are concerning pricing. Now, you can't see this on TikTok, but on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, you guys can see this. I'm going to tell you guys about it. YouTube just doesn't let us do the same type of stream. But this is a particular Infinity that we shop for. We have offers ranging, this is a $61,000 vehicle. We have offers ranging from $680 per month, which is a 1.1% lease. So a $61,000 car, $680 per month, that's 1.1%. We divide the monthly payment into the MSRP. Now, we can see here that there are some offers already from dealers that are almost $900, $889 per month, $889 per month, $873 per month. So now when we look and we say, whoa, how can we have we have all these dealers have the exact same car, yet one of them is $200 per month higher than another dealer. Exactly. We call them the 80%. The 80%, even after back and forth, even after, hey, we'll take off some money. All right, we'll drop the payment $50 a month. Their offer is still so high. It's a horrible deal. Now, why would they offer this? And this is consistent. So I don't want y'all thinking, well, the dealers that I walk into, they're different, Deshone. They take off more money. It does not matter what you think. If you don't have the market reports, if you don't know how to get multiple offers so that you can see, we do this all around the country. We have students all around the country in Cars from Home. We have people we shop for. We have over 13,000 books sold now. Like, we have lots of data to prove this. 80% of dealers are going to be overpriced. This is another particular deal on a Toyota, a market report. And you guys can see that the out-the-door prices here, list price, $32,000. Out-the-door price with taxes and fees, $38,000. That means that dealer is charging all types of fees on top of their price. The $39,000 MSRP. Look at line number 3. $39,000. Out-the-door price is $41,000. We can see $39,000 out the door includes taxes, includes all the fees. So we can see that these out the door prices in the left, in the right column, are way higher than the MSRP. $35,798. Out the door price is $39,700. But look at the green. Look at the green. This is what we call we found the dealer at this time who wanted to win the bid. They wanted to win the bid. They needed the car sold. This is a rotation. We don't say to them, wow, they won the bid one time, so they must win the bid all the time. No dealer can win the bid all the time, or they'll be out of business. But in this particular case, at this particular time, for this particular client, this dealer said, we're going to sell this car for that's $35,500, and out the door with taxes and all the fees, $34,994. That is a over $4,000 discount off this vehicle. When all the other dealers are not only are they not giving you a discount, they're charging over list. And they might come and say, all right, we'll take off $500. We'll take off $1,000. We'll take off $1,500. They might start so high with you guys that you think, wow, they started up here and I talked them down. They took off $3,000 from me, but they already were $3,000 in fake fees, protection plans, and all of this padding, dealer adjustments, which is fake fees. So whenever they say, because the dealer gets a minimum of a 6% profit margin From list to invoice, we have profit. From invoice to holdback to triple net, we have money. That's all the profit margin. On top of that, when we add a dealer adjustment, what we're saying is we're going to sell this car to someone who does not have the skills to find our competition. And they're going to come in, and if we got to take off $2,000 to make them think they won, this is what we're going to do. But what we do here, what people like Brian is going to do, look, just finalize my first ever lease using your system, 2025 Honda HRV, $30,000 vehicle, $395 a month payment, no money down. His initial quote was $434. He ended up using our calculator, which we have in our book and in our program. If we put all our offers into that calculator, it tells us what to counter. He gets that offer for $395. That's his deal. We look at somebody like, Wendell. Look, thank you. It's the least I can say for your book, Cars from Home. We're still in the middle of the process. Just sold our car today, like 10 minutes ago, for 30% above value. Why? Because he got bids. Look, using the insights from your book. I've read the book multiple times and told many people about it because it's that good. It's so intuitive and insightful. We'll be moving to the next step soon, and I'll write again. So now you heard him say we're moving to the next step soon. Step 2 in my book is the equity assessment. That's when we get bids for the car we have. We get bids. You're going to go to, listen, you should never be trading your cars in. Let me ask you all a question. Do we get the most money for you name me one thing that we get the most money for that thing trading it. Name me one thing. If I had this iPhone, do I get more money trading that iPhone in for another phone, or do I get more money listing it online and selling it to whoever will pay the most? Trading or selling? Let's go. Who's locked in? Tax advantages are very small. I understand you, Ronald, but the tax advantages, we have people that are selling their cars to cash buyers for $3,000 to $5,000 more than what they can get on trade. A tax advantage for the difference is not, it's minimal. Exactly. Thank you, King Carter. You listed. So the money is in the bids and the competition. So going back to this person who asked the question, how do I get the best deal on a lease? It's going to be through multiple offers. That's my 2 favorite words. I would wear them on a shirt if I didn't wear unlearn, relearn. Because more than multiple offers, I need you to unlearn. Because the people who come with bad information from years, Deshone, this is not how my uncle taught me to buy cars. Deshone, this is not how I ever heard about getting cars. I was always taught just go in and just don't tell them about your trade and then ask to see the invoice and all of this stuff. That's what I was taught. Yeah, but you're not going to get the prices we're getting until you unlearn all of that bad information. Bidding is how we buy everything. When we go into the supermarket to get spaghetti sauce, all of those companies are bidding. They're bidding. Hey, listen, we'll sell you this for $3.99. Hey, we'll sell you this for $5.29. But we got a better product. We got quality. Look at us. Look, it's all bids. Everyone who wants to sell us something is competing, except car dealers. Y'all notice that? So the mindset that y'all got to have if y'all want to really win and save all of this money and get these huge discounts is I'm going to start purchasing and leasing cars like I buy other things. It's going to be a competition. And I promise you, your whole life is going to change. Your entire car buying experience will change forever. You will be sitting here just like my man Ken, graduated, $585 a month payment, no money down on his Nissan Murano Platinum, $50,000 vehicle. He's paying $585, no money down. $50,000 vehicle. How much would a $50,000 vehicle cost us on a loan if he purchased it? How much would a $50,000? Some of you know every $5,000 is how much per month. Let me see who's locked in. Who's locked in? Every $5,000 is how much per month on a loan. I see you, Daniel Thompson. Check in. Good to see you, Dane. Thank you for breaking it down with complete truth. Keeping eyes wide open to know what to exactly expect. There you go, Dang. Welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. We do not play around when it comes to this. All I want you doing is winning with cars, in love with your deals every time you get a car. All right, nobody knows the 5,000. How much is every $5,000 on a car payment? Come on, y'all. These are principles we've been teaching. Thank you, Daniel. $100. Thank you. Thank you. $100. So we always want to default to a 5-year loan. I'm going to tell you why. When you default to a 5-year loan, you're in a safe position. Now, defaulting to a 5-year loan means when I look at a $20,000 car, I'm thinking $400 per month. 5-year loan, every $5,000 is $100 per month. If worst case scenario, I'm trying to get a little bit more car, then I'll go to a 6-year loan. But that's the max. I'm not going past a 6-year loan on a car. That's like going to a 40-year mortgage on a house. They're available. It's not a good idea. So when we look at these, you say to yourself, wow, a $50,000 car, that should cost him, if he did no, remember, this is a no money down deal. We're just looking at how much money we're putting in these cars. That car would cost him about $1,000 a month if he purchased it, 5-year loan, no money down. Which is why when people purchase their cars, what do they typically do? Come up with a ton of money, 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand, because they're going to pay into that car to try to lower that payment, because that payment. But some of us who don't have the down payment, we're financing most or all of the car. But here's the thing. I don't want you to feel bad if you're one of those people who's like, Deshone, I really don't be having those down payments of 10 grand, 15 grand, but I want to drive something quality. Exactly, I hear you. Here's the bad part about the people who are putting 15 grand down on their cars, but they're breaking the 8-year rule. This is what we call in Cars from Home and everything I teach. The most important question is how many years are you going to keep this next car? If it's not 8, then we don't purchase those cars, because here's what happens with people who go into their bank account, slap $15,000 down in a car, and don't keep the cars 8 years. And if anybody's willing to be honest, they will confirm this right here on the stream. When they go to replace that car in 3 years or 4 years, they literally have a little bit of equity. Maybe they're just breaking even. They're not getting that 15 grand back. It's gone. It's gone. Anyone who puts 10 grand down on a car and then comes back in 3 years, 4 years, all right, I had the car 4 years, 5. Listen, I'm going to switch this thing up. They still have a payment. They are barely breaking even. Meanwhile, their payment was 400 or 500, almost double what it would have been if they leased a car, got a below market lease, and they drove a car, no warranty after 3 years. They're driving an inferior product. So if it sounds like I'm here to destroy people from purchasing who are not keeping their cars long term, that is the goal. Because as long as you are buying cars that you're not keeping 8 years, and you buy them, you turn around and you replace them, you are going to continue to spend way more money than people getting below market leases like Ken and like a lot of other people I'm going to show you on the stream. Lots of other people. Look, dealer American Senior Benefits Plan. He's enrolled with us under his company name. Dealer MSRP on this car was $36,300. 2025 Kia Sport X line. MSR boom 561. Monthly payment is $400. Use the system back and forth. Got $400 a month on a 2025 $36,000 car. Once we put our taxes and fees in that would be a $700+ payment. $700 payment. He's paying $400. And y'all wonder why people are losing cars. $300 more per month to drive the same car. It's ridiculous. Imagine somebody like you, when you learn, now you're pulling up. I'm going to tell y'all one more story, and then we'll go into some more questions, because you might not remember what I'm saying. So those of you who have the book, you got this for the rest of your life. But you will remember, hopefully, a story. I tell you about my neighbor. So my neighbor finds out that I'm into this car business and that I educate. And he said, hey, Deshone, I was watching some of your videos, and I come across this 8-year rule that you teach. And his wife had actually had a Kia Telluride. Popular vehicles, probably been one of the most popular SUVs, the Palisade, since 2007, 2019. Super popular vehicles. People were charging $5,000 over sticker for them during the pandemic. People were paying it. We were getting them at discounts. Now, his wife totals the truck. She has an accident, totals the truck. She's fine. Truck is totaled. He was financing it. He said, Deshone, I see this 8-year rule thing, man, and I don't keep my cars 8 years. I said, okay. He said, so I'm thinking I should, like, you're saying I should be shopping for a lease on my next one. I said, exactly. I said, make sure you get multiple offers, because if you just walk in and say, hey, work me up a lease, they'll give you the same payment you had on the purchase. And then they'll tell you something ridiculous that they want you to believe, like, hey, the lease is the same price as the purchase, so you might as well just purchase it. And people believe this stuff. Now, I said, you get multiple offers, stay at home. He calls me, he says, Deshone, I got the new version of the Telluride, new. I'm paying $479 a month. He's $497, and then he said, I think he put down like $1,000, bring it down to $479. $497. He was just paying $800. Do you think anyone can tell him anything about leasing? He's pulling up in the same exact truck. In fact, the newer version. He knows he wasn't going to keep the car long term anyway. He's not going to pay it off and then keep the car and have a paid off Kia Telluride for 10 years. That's not what he does. He keeps them 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, and then he replaces them. So why is he paying $800 a month for years, no warranty, when he could be driving brand new ones for $497 a month, problem free? But as I said, some people are determined to pay more. But the people who, once you get this leasing thing, if you're not keeping your cars, it will change your life. Now, again, I got a car I'm purchasing, we're keeping it. Anything you are buying, keeping 8 years, forget about leasing. It shouldn't be a thing. Who keeps their cars more than 8 years? Let us know. You're an 8+ year person, let us know. In fact, I don't even want to ask, who has a car right now that they've had more than 8 years? And then we'll answer. I want to get Kathy's question too. And then let's get some purchase questions. Let's get some used car questions. Let's get some bank financing questions. We do it all here. But one of the most misunderstood subjects is this leasing thing, and it is costing you guys thousands of dollars every year. And you're driving old cars with no warranties, paying high payments on them because somebody told you you should be purchasing cars. I'm here to tell you they owe you money. They owe you money. All right? So who has a car right now that they've had more than 8 years? Let us know. How many years have you had it? And by the way, for those of you who just joined, this is our Tuesday, May 6th live. We are live every Monday through Thursday at 12 noon Eastern time. So for those of you who are here catching us live, that's when we're live. We will rebroadcast this and replay this show throughout the rest of the day for those who could not catch it, or if you had to jump off, go back to work. You're like, oh, I got to go back to work. You can catch it on the replay throughout the day. But we are live Monday through Thursday at 12 noon. So welcome to the people who are here. EJ, driving a lot of miles does not matter. Let me break this down for you. So right now, let's go to somebody who else has a lease. Let's look at Because who's heard with leasing, you can't drive too many miles? Who's heard that, right? Type me if you've heard that. Let's go. Type me if you heard that. Come on, where's the locked in people at? I see Kathy, I see EJ, I see DJ Ant Nice, I see XP. All right, I see Mr. Slim. Welcome to the community. I see Rhonda. All right, where are the locked in people? Instagram, where we at? Locked in. All right, dang, I see you. Jamel. All right, perfect. So, Sherry, I see you. Sherry Baker on TikTok. So you've heard, oh, you can't drive a lot of miles with a lease. Let's be clear here. You choose the mileage on your lease. It's not selected for you. In fact, the only time it is selected for you is if you don't realize you choose it. That's the only time they're going to choose your mileage for you. If you go in and you do something like, hey, work me up a lease deal, they're probably going to work you up a 10,000 mile a year lease deal. And they're probably going to say, hey, you need $3,000 down, and this is going to be your payment. And next thing you know, it's a high lease, and it's just terrible. Happens all the time. We tell people how to quote us. First payment due at signing, taxes and fees in the payment. So now let's look at a lease, and let me show you what it would look like. So this is Val Boss Lady. She's in our Shop with Deshone program. Everything that you guys know that we're talking about here, if you're like, hey, I really, really want to go deeper, I want the step-by-step, the blueprint, that's my digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Normally $97. You get a welcome offer. It's 30 minutes because I want to see you win, and you get 75% off for 30 minutes. If you go to my TikTok bio, Instagram bio, YouTube comments, Facebook comments, click those links, and then click that one that says $24 welcome offer. 30 minutes only. Reward for taking action. You have everything we teach. The low market leases, the low market purchases, used cars, bank bidding war, making banks and credit unions bid, all of that, $24. You can, somebody emailed me yesterday, said, I'm $15,000 up with what I've learned from you already. And so if you can get it for $24, you can save tons of money for the rest of your life on a $24 investment. In this case, Val's in our, she's more of a wants to do it with me type. Videos, checklist, she doesn't want to read. That's our Shop with Deshone, do it with me program. I coach people. And so she gets a deal on this particular car. Same information, by the way. Not better information here than the book. It's just different learning styles. So she gets a $51,000 electric vehicle, 2025, beautiful vehicle. She's paying 1.16. So her payment on this car, on this $51,000 car. Let's continue to make sure we understand the price of these cars. $51,000 car, her payment is $591. No money down. Now, some of you might say, wow, if I got $591, I'd probably put like $3,000 down, bring it down to $499. You could do that. That's how we can do that because she already got an incredible deal. Then we're just determining how we want to structure our payment. And thank you for everybody sending me gifts. I appreciate you. Thank you for all the badges. I don't take it for granted. And thank you for everyone who's hit the like button. Those of you who are double tapping the screen. Every time you hit something on TikTok, you like it, you double tap the screen, you keep running those likes up. We appreciate you. It does matter. It helps spread the word. So let's say Val wanted, she's a high mileage driver like EJ. Let's say, EJ, how many miles per year do you drive? 20,000, 25,000? Let us know. I'm gonna show you why. In my book, I have 2 strategies for high mileage drivers. I'll tell it to you guys right now. How many miles a year do you drive, EJ? 25,000, 20,000? Those are both high. Let us know. Or if anybody, else, because, anybody else who's a high mileage driver, let us know. How many miles? 26. All right. Thank you, EJ. So let's just round that to 25 for now. Let's just round that to 25. So let's say instead of her $591 payment for a $51,000 car, now you could shop for a $30,000 car and you can have a 1% payment. If it was, a similar deal, you'd be paying $300 a month. In her case, she has a $51,000 car. She probably wanted a nice SUV that looks beautiful, that some other people are paying $1,000 a month for. She's paying $591. But if she wanted to bump it up to 15,000 miles a year, she'd be paying another $30 more per month. She'd be paying $620. Now, if she wanted to bump it up to 20,000 miles per year, she'd be paying probably another 80, 90 bucks per month. So she'd probably be paying 700 to drive 20,000 miles per year. Now, let me tell you guys, because some of you guys who are like, yo, man, those payments are high. We're talking about $50,000 cars here. So if you were shopping for a $30,000 car or $35,000 car, naturally, if we took the same exact numbers, let's take a $35,000 car, 1.16 lease. That's a 406 payment, probably $399. So now, in order to go, and let's say you're a high mileage driver, just like EJ, you want to add another 15,000 miles to your lease. You're probably going from 400 to 550 or 575. But you have all the mileage you need. And here's the beautiful thing about that. If I'm paying $175 more per month, but I get all the mileage I want, and when I drop this thing off, I get a new one, I don't have to worry about negative equity, and I put no money down, that is way better than what most people are doing out here, what everyone's doing. Because I'm gonna tell you what most high mileage drivers do who don't put money down. They will go in, buy a car, take a super long loan, 6 years, 7 years, just so they could afford the payment. Now, here's what happens. They drive the car, they put 25,000 miles a year on it. They come back in 3 years or 4 years, and they say, wow, I got 100,000 miles on this thing already. Let me go and swap out the car. What situation are they in at that point, guys? You put 100, you got a 6-year loan, average loan. You drove 25,000 miles per year. You put 100,000 miles on the car in 4 years. You come back, you still have 2 years of payments left. 15 grand negative equity. I used to see it all the time. Thank you, I am rich. Locked in on Instagram. I see you. Locked in. See it all the time. Every car salesman who has dealt with a normal 25,000 mile high mileage driver that does not keep their cars sees it all the time. They come in, yo, man, what you do for a living? Man, yeah, I do DoorDash, I do Uber. Oh man, I work in sales. You know, I'm on the road a lot. You know, I'm here. You know, all right, I want to replace this thing. I got like 110,000 on it. Okay, you still got a loan on it? Yeah, all right, we already know you got negative equity. Then we appraise the car. All right, the car's worth like 7,000. How much you owe? Man, you owe 19,000. All right, well, what can I do? Can you get me into something? Roll that loss all the way over. On top of that, you finance the car, so your payment is high. You finance the whole car, so you're paying a high payment compared to if you had leased, just literally shop for your leases, added your miles to the lease that you needed. You're paying $175 more per month. You got a brand new car. And I'm going to tell you, I did not make this up. I learned this from someone. A lot of what I'm teaching you, I learned from my clients when I was in the dealership. This guy, I worked at Hyundai for six weeks. Man, this dealership, the owners got indicted. I got out of there. Way before the owner got indicted. It just had straight up highway vibes, like the worst you could ever imagine. I was in there for 6 weeks. I was a manager. I enjoyed being a manager. We did a lot of deals in my department in 6 weeks. But I said, I am out of this place. Anyway. But I learned something very valuable there. We had a client a customer was returning his lease on his Hyundai Sonata. Guy comes and I'm grounding the lease. I'm doing the paperwork for him. He has 72,000 miles on the car. 72,000 miles. I said, how the heck? I said, you lease this? He said, yeah, I always lease. That's all I do. He said, I used to buy my cars every single time I came. I had to put large down payments, 10 grand, and then I'm still having negative equity when I come to trade it in. I'm having high payments. It's ridiculous. I looked at his payment. And let's say the average payment for a good deal on a Sonata at that time was 300, 325, whatever it was. He was only paying like 550. He was only paying like $150, $175 more per month. He had a 25,000 mile a year lease. And that's what he did. I drive these cars, I'm on the road, boom, boom, boom. I change my tires, I do my maintenance, 3 years. It's a fixed cost. There's no variable cost. I don't have any surprises. I'm not getting hit with a negative equity bill that I got to transfer, which means when I transfer my negative equity, I get less car on the next transaction. Because if I got to bring over 15 grand of negative equity, that's probably 300 a month that I'm paying for my old car when I get my new car. So if my new car was 400 a month, but my negative equity is another 300 a month, I'm getting less car for my money because now I got to take all those losses and bring them over to my new car. This is high mileage drivers and people who don't understand leasing. That's why you're losing so much money. And when you just flip the switch and realize Deshone is not talking to me emotionally, I am not talking to you about never do this, like these other people who say this, do this. This is how you buy a car. They never talk numbers. Y'all notice that? You notice that, right? You never hear them talk numbers. It's always never do this, always do this. This is the worst way to do this. This is the most expensive way to do this. This costs you the most money. They never talk numbers though. That's why everything I do is to show you the numbers. Thousands of transactions since 2006 in the car business, helping people the last 4 years all around the country. This is the numbers that they might not understand. So if you're not keeping your car 8 years, it does not matter if you drive 20,000 miles a year, 25,000. You should be looking at a high mileage lease. Or my second strategy for high mileage drivers is this, because some of you want a nice car. This is for my people who you're like, man, Deshone, I'm on the road. I got my car that I do my work in. I kind of, slep it around. I don't really want to lease something and then put, that wear on it. I got stuff. I'm throwing bags in the back, whatever it may be. There's a strategy we created called 2 cars, 1 payment. And what will happen is your first car will be a purchase. And if you have an existing car, you're going to keep that. So let's say you have a car now, you're driving a lot of miles, you're doing your 25,000 miles a year. You pay that car off. You keep that car, and then you go and you lease you something nice, regular mileage. So you might get a 12,000 mile a year lease, and then you drive 12,000 in your mileage car, 12,000 on your nice car. Because some people are like, I want a car that I could, when I need to go somewhere nice, this is what I want to drive. When I'm with my family, this is what I want to drive. But when I go to work 5 days a week, I'm going to drive my mileage car, 3 or 4 of those days. And then I'll take the lease maybe 1 of those days, and I'm splitting the mileage. You still have 1 payment. It's low. And then every couple years, you replace the mileage car or you replace the lease car, and depending on when the lease is up. But you want to keep that, and that mileage car should be something that will last. Ideally, something that you can get 200, 300,000 miles a year out of that car, because that's what that car is there for. Man, I'm hopping in this thing, man. Oh, transmission went out at 170,000 miles. Go get you a rebuilt transmission, boom, boom, drop it in there for $2 grand, get another 80,000 miles out of that car, but you still got your lease car and you're just splitting the mileage. Both of those are short-term strategies for high mileage drivers. That is not for long-term people. If you're a long-term person, I keep my cars 8+ years, forget about leasing. You should just be finding the best deal, below market purchase, keep the car, something you can keep for 8+ years. You could put 30,000 miles a year on a car 8 years in a row. If you get the right car, and in 8 years, you got 240,000 miles, and then you replace it. Forget about leasing. This is only for you guys not keeping your cars 8 years. You're getting killed on depreciation. You're paying tons of money. This is you. You are the people who should be leasing. Okay? So everything we're talking about this is the Cars from Home system. We teach this. This is not, I'm not freestyling this. This is in my book, digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. We have two strategies for high mileage short-term drivers, 1 strategy for high mileage long-term drivers. And so you want your copy, you can get it for 75% off. That's our welcome offer to you. As a 30 minutes welcome. Thanks for being here. I want to reward you. If you want everything we teach in a step-by-step way, go grab your digital copy. It's in my TikTok bio. It's in my Instagram bio. Click those links. We also got a link in the YouTube comments and the Facebook comments. Grab your copy and make sure as soon as you purchase, screenshot the thank you page. You're going to see thank you for your purchase. Screenshot this page because it has my support team's email on there. And then there's a link for you to open the book right there. You can save it right to your computer or right to your phone. Okay, but and we also have a special for those of you who are like Deshone. What about that, video checklist and coaching program? That's lifetime access to my video checklist. You're like, maybe Deshone, I don't really read. I like step-by-step videos. And also, I want to be in your Facebook group. We have 1,600 people before you that are in that group, 2,300 people that are shopping with us that have a lifetime access to our video checklist. We have a $200 special for that welcome offer. And so I'm always about rewarding people for taking action with a special offer. It's limited time though, and so get in where you fit in. All right, let's keep it going. Thank you, Corey. Said amazing knowledge. Thank you. And I'm glad I saw somebody said that's a great idea with the 2 cars. Thank you. It's a great idea. All right. You've convinced me to lease my next vehicle. Awesome. Awesome. Does your service shop for lease terms on the car? Absolutely. If you qualify for done for you, that means you just want to relax. That means we only shop for new cars and leases for people, new purchases and leases. And you have to have a FICO score over 670. But yes, here is a market report that we prepared for a client. Let me put on Do Not Disturb. Here's a market report we prepared for a client. Okay, so I showed you that that's an affinity. We didn't even finish that. We had just started for this client. But this is, do I have one here? No. Do I have a lease market report here? Yeah, right here. So that's an example of what a Kia, this is a particular Kia lease where their best offer was a 1.27 offer. Now, here's how you know you found the bottom of the market. And again, whether you're using the book or whether you're calling around, again, you can call around to do this. The key is not going into dealerships. You cannot do this going in. Once you get your offers, you know you found the bottom when your best offer is between $150 to $200 less per month than your worst offer. And if you're purchasing, you should see a spread of between $3,000 and $5,000 minimum between your best offer and your worst offer. That's when you know you've shopped correctly. Because until you find the 80% dealers, you have not shopped correctly. If you're like Deshone, these prices still seem close. You have not found, you're talking to the 80%. You haven't found the 20% yet. Because the 20% is going to be that $3,000 to $5,000 less than the 80%. That is just the numbers. That's the way it works. So yes, so when some cars you're going to see that the lease program won't allow for a 1.1% lease. The best offer, like we've shopped Hyundai Palisades for years, and I got my dad one back in November, and his best offer is like around 1.3, 1.28. That's the best I've ever seen on a Palisade. I've never seen a 1.1 on a Palisade. I've had people in our Charles, some of you know, I posted pictures of him when he got his Palisade last year. We clear out the old pictures because we got a bunch of new people with 2025. So we're not going to sit here and talk about 2024s anymore. We got Ken, we got Melissa, we got Sheree, we got a bunch of new people, just Ralph. We're not going to, but I do remember posting Charles who got his Palisade and he's like, he shopped used the system, got his multiple offers. Best deal was 1.3. So that's where it comes in at because of the lease program. That dealer is already taken off to win the bid, probably taking off 5-6 grand. But if they don't have more rebates and more incentives and a better, then it's not going to lead to a 1% lease. So the 1% leases come from major incentives. Maybe sometimes they have too many of the vehicles, they want to move them, lots of bank support. But what I tell you is you should be looking for between 1.25 and 1.5. That's how you should budget for a lease, between 1.25 and 1.5. That's a great deal. And if it has a really aggressive lease program, once you get your bids, you're going to see it fall under the 1.25. You see it fall into 1.1, 1.2. But we don't know what the lease program will be until after we shop for that vehicle. Okay? So yes, absolutely. It's an empowering way to shop. It's also fun because you can see, man, I'm not begging anymore. Like these people are like, please do business with me. Please do business with me. You know, and then you start to feel bad for everybody who's still in those dealerships doing it the old way because you know they're talking to the 80%. There's no way they can win. They don't even know there is an 80%. To realize that's who they're talking to. So when the dealer says, all right, I'll take off 4 grand, they're like, wow, I won. Man, the dealer took off 4 grand. But if they saw the whole market, they would understand that that dealer actually is overpriced by $7,000, $10,000. So taking off the 4 grand means nothing. It's just sad. It's a sad thing. And that's why I spend my time trying to convert you guys from negotiating one-to-one to getting multiple offers so that you can see for yourself. All right. Thank you, Julie, name Richardson. Thank you for sharing. XP got the number 2 gifted badge. Forgive me because I don't really know what that means, but I just know that's what it's saying. So I appreciate it. Thank you, Corey22. Sherry Baker, thank you so much. Number 1 gifted badge. All right, let's go to some more questions. We got some more questions. Dolan, I'm sure you got a lot of them. And what I'm going to do for the rest of the broadcast is just try to do rapid fire questions and answers. Okay. And if you guys want me to go deeper on any particular subject, then just feel free to say, hey, could you go deeper on that? How do you get a car loan with bad credit? Well, we have a resource. It's not our company. We have nothing to do with them. But we always try to stay up to speed on who's financing people with bad credit because the goal is you don't want a dealer controlling your financing. Somebody just came up to me. He's a neighbor. He's like, aren't you in the car business? I said, well, yes and no. He's like, well, listen, I got a connected Acura. Anybody you send me, they get anybody approved, I'll give you $1,000. I said, okay, cool. Thanks for the information. For them to give me $1,000 just for sending the customer, and he's also a middleman, he's not a salesman, how much money are they making on the customers? If they're going to give me $1,000 just for sending someone with bad credit to them, how much are they making on the deal? Arms Reach, congratulations. Just got my book. You use it when, please send me your email testimonial. Well, as you use it, just as you do your equity assessment, everything, email me. Congratulations. How much are they making? We can imagine, right? If they're giving me $1,000 just for bringing them the customer. So this is what happens when you let the dealership control the loan. Because why do we separate? All right, I'm going to break something down I call the 3 pillars of great car deals. Three pillars. You can't get a great car deal without maximizing each pillar. And some of y'all that have been with us for 3 years, y'all already know the 3 pillars. First, who you buy your car from. Second, who you get your loan from. Third, who you sell your old car to. That's 3 separate transactions. The car business has trained you guys to give them all 3. All 3. The car business has trained you guys to give them 3 transactions. Anytime you purchase the car, who's done this? Be honest. Purchase the car from a dealership, sold them your old car, in which case you call it a trade, and they got you your loan. Who's done this? 3 transactions in one. Why do we know these are 3 transactions? One, there's competition. People want to buy your car. It's okay, Corey. That's that. Thank you for being honest. That's how we change. The reason why we know that these are 3 transactions because there's people who want to compete in every one of them. There are people who want to buy your car. That's why step 2 in our book, we never trade. We get offers from CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, AutoNation, Car Gurus, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. It's a bid. We just had someone sell their lease. Miss Hickman, she sold her lease, made $4,700 selling her lease. CarMax won the bid. Drove the car for 3 years, had equity. She dropped her lease off. They gave her $4,700. Won the bid. That's one pillar. Second, who I'm going to get my loan from if I'm getting a loan. Those of you who are paying cash or leasing, this is not a pillar. But we need to bid out our loan. We had a great talk yesterday on our show yesterday where I asked, who do you guys get your loans from? Most people said the bank, the credit union, the dealership. One person said the right answer, whoever gives me the best APR. That's the right answer. And then we have who we buy our car from. There's banks and credit unions that want to compete for our loan. There's multiple dealers who want to compete to sell us a car. So we can't get a great deal until we have bid out each pillar. And that's why when we have bad credit, if we let the dealer now control, this dealer has a car. We didn't bid out that car to find out, is it a great price? Now they're also giving me the loan and they're charging me 25%. We didn't bid that out to see, is that the best loan I could get, even with my bad credit? Is that the best loan I can get? So the key, what you want to do first, if you have bad credit, is I'm online looking for anyone who will finance me with bad credit separate from the dealer. I'm not going to Carvana.com and saying, hey, you can get a car with us you can get a loan with us as long as you buy a car from us. You're mixing the transactions. You're taking away my ability to get bids. I'm finding someone you should check out. There's a resource. Oh my goodness, what's the name of the company? It's in my book, but I want to give it to you. Goodness, it's slipping my mind right now. Send me an email or DM, because here's the thing. If you use just that part and get the loan funded, but you don't know how to bid out everything else and structure your transactions, and are you keeping the car 8 years? Because if you're not keeping the car 8 years and you're like, Deshone, I hear you talking about leasing. I'm not keeping my car 8 years, but my credit's not good. The only purpose, if you telling me that I could be driving brand new cars for cents on the dollar, but I don't qualify right now, this car that I'm going to get is to set me up. So I'm not going to get a $30,000 car. I'm going to get me a $12,000 car, $10,000 car, the cheapest car I can get a loan on, so I can establish a payment history. And once I establish a 2-year payment history, yeah, I'm going to drive a car less than what I could drive. I got the money. I could afford more than this. But you're not setting yourself up for the right transaction. You should be setting yourself up and saying, all right, I'm going to sacrifice with this car, drive something that I know this is not my ideal car, but I'm going to build 2 years of payment history. So when I go and I swap into my lease in 2 years, I'm out with a brand new car. I'm paying cents on the dollar, and I won. But it was a plan. It was a long-term plan. This is the second most expensive purchase of your life. You can win every single time, or you can lose and set yourself and your family back 5 to 10 grand each car or more. Every time you get a car, it's 5 to 10 grand more you're coming out of your family's bank account than what could have. Then you got the car breaking down. Now you got tow trucks, all because you don't have an actual plan you're rolling out. And that's what I see a lot of people do with bad credit. Oh man, I got bad credit. I'm just going to go and get me something. I could afford $600 a month. And they go and buy the most expensive car. But because 25% interest is on the loan, they're not getting the most car for their money. Now, 3 years down the road, they're going to pay the high payment, still have negative equity because the interest is so high. And then they go and swap and do it again. And because the payment's so high and the car is older, because they want something fancy, but they really can't get that because, again, the interest is high. That's eating into their budget. Now, they're going 3 years down the road. They missed 3 payments. They were late 3 times, so they're no closer to leasing. Credit's still bad. This is disaster. So if you're a long-term person, I break it down for you guys into 2 groups of people: long-term, short-term. Long-term high mileage driver, short-term high mileage driver, different plan. Long-term bad credit person, short-term bad credit person, different plan. If I'm a long-term person with bad credit, here's what I'm doing: finding the absolute best car I could find, getting bids, either new cars or used cars. We got the strategies for both. You can use the marketplaces, cars.com, Car Auto Trader. We got a whole strategy for how we find used cars, but you find that car, you pay your loan of 20%, 19%, 18%, if that's the best you can get. Because here's what you're going to do. In 2 years, you're not swapping into a lease. In 2 years, you've established a payment history, you fixed your credit, and now what are we going to do? You got a quality car, you're not thinking about trading it, you're not thinking about replacing it. You're like, man, this is my car. It's a great car. I'm just paying daggone 20% interest. What do I do now after 2 years? Now that my credit is good, because I got a quality car, dependable car, I'm focused on fixing my credit over 2 years. What am I going to do after 2 years? Anybody? Thank you, Arms Reach. Refinancing the car. Exactly. Exactly. So that's the bad credit long-term strategy. Great car, dependable car, car's not going to break. This car is going to last me 10 years. Right now, when I bought it, 20% interest rate. That was where my credit was. But I worked on my credit. Boom. I'm a 690 now. I'm a 720 now. I'm refinancing that into a short-term, into a shorter-term loan, and I won. Pay this thing off, and I'm going to keep it. Nothing to talk about leasing. Leasing only comes into play where the 8-year rule is concerned. I'm not keeping this next car 8 years. I should be setting myself up to lease, or I should be leasing. That's how I'm going to save the most money, keep the most money in my bank account, have the best car. Not even close. Not even close. All the wins for the purchasers are after 8 years. People who are like, man, Deshone, I got a car, man. I had this thing 12 years, man. It's been paid off for 6 years. I ain't had a payment. I love it. Long-term purchaser. You won. You won. Who's in that situation? Who has a car outside that they've had for more than a decade? Paid off. You can give it to your son. You can give it to your daughter. It's an extra car. That's purchasing. That's the wins. That's what we call the reward stage of purchasing. But you got to get there. All right. All right, let's go. A lot more questions. We got probably another 20 minutes we'll stay on, so let's keep it moving. But again, Lend Buzz, that's the company. Lend, LEND, BUZZ. They started, I started seeing them about 18 months, 2 years ago, and they were loaning to people with, international students, people who didn't have credit. You want to try to find a place that will fund you independent of the dealership. That is what your goal is at all times. Independent of the dealership. Here, you qualify based on your income and your credit. You qualify for $18,000. Go find a car now. That is what you want. You don't want people mixing the bank loan with the car and two pillars that they are controlling. We're controlling the price of this car. We're controlling your interest rate. We don't want that. Yep, exactly, Cindy. For those who just joined, this is our Tuesday, May 6th live. We do these lives Monday through Thursday at 12 noon, so you can tell your friends, family. We wanted to now come up with a constant and consistent time where I could meet with you guys. If you don't have, if you can't stay the whole broadcast, we will replay these throughout the day because sometimes people got to jet back to work. They're watching us on the lunch break. You can catch up on the whole rest of the show throughout the day, all the way up until tomorrow, and then over the weekend, we'll play a whole compilation of all the shows for people who really want to dig in and hear all the questions that we answered throughout the week on, Monday through Thursday. But if you want to join us live, set your calendar, set an alarm, meet us on any channel. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube on the Deshone the Auto Advisor channels, 12 noon, Monday through Thursday. All right. Let's go. Next question, Dolan. All right. What are your thoughts on purchasing used versus new? It's a great question, Kathy. For me, it's a matter of budget and values. It's only a matter of values if you can afford both. So if you can get everything you want in a new car for your budget, everything you want, everything that you need, and you can afford it in a new car, you have the option to choose both. So it becomes a matter of values. In my book, I teach, are you a person who's like, I want to reward myself. I only get a new car every decade. I'm going to keep this thing 10 years. I want the latest and greatest. Therefore, I'm going to shop and get the best offer, get me a below market purchase. Because y'all notice I always put in a caveat of a below market purchase, below market lease. That's all we're talking about here with Cars from Home. That's all we're talking about. You need to, every purchase you make or lease you get, you want it to be a below market lease or purchase. So now, if I could afford both, is it I'm going to reward myself with a new vehicle, or do I have these other values where I actually want to knock 20 to 30 to 40% off the price to get even more for my money? So that's really up to you if you can afford both. There's no right or wrong there. It's a matter of, like I said, the values. Now, some of you once you look at your budget, I have a tool in my book and in our video checklist, the coaching program called the Perfect Budget Calculator. We invented this. So it's not on Google. You'll hear a lot of the stuff, almost nothing we teach. You're like, if you ever go to look for it, the 8-year rule. No one talks about it. We created it. This is our intellectual property that we created to teach you guys to create these boundaries, the rule of 72 and the 10th birthday, 1.5% rule for overpaying for leases. These are all things that are absolutely proprietary to Cars from Home. But one of them is this Perfect Budget Calculator. Sometimes when we're factoring budgets with most calculators, they don't include fees that we know dealers have. And I'm talking about legitimate fees, tax, documentation fee, motor vehicles. So we're putting our budgets together, but we always get caught out there. Who's had that happen? You got it all figured out. You get to the dealership, you bought the car, and they're like, well, what are you going to do with the fees? Because you got $3,000 in taxes and fees. And you're like, oh, where'd that come from? Sometimes they're lying and sometimes it's legit. But none of these calculators factor in the fees and everything like that. So we created this Perfect Budget Calculator that does. But here's the thing. Once you find out what your budget is, even if you're budgeting with a normal calculator, just add a couple thousand to account for the taxes and the fees. But you might see, I can't get everything I want in a new car for this budget. Everything I need, I can't get for this $24,000, in which case I need to go and look for a pre-owned one. So that's why I said, in reference to your question, Kathy, what are my thoughts on purchasing used versus new? It's a matter of values and budget. Budget first, because budget will determine if you can afford both and get what you want. But if you can afford both and get what you want, then it's a matter of values. Okay? So again, everything we're going over is in my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's 5-star rated. Thank you to everybody who has taken the time to rate it and review it on Goodreads.com. It means a lot. And we can't continue to get this information out without you guys. So we appreciate you. And you can get your copy instead of $97. You can get your copy for $24 as part of our welcome offer. So that's 75% off. If you go to my link in my TikTok bio, Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, and the Facebook comments, we have a link there for you guys. And you can grab it. It's a digital book, so you don't even have to wait. It'll be in your inbox by the time you jump off the stream. But make sure when you get it, you screenshot that thank you page because it has my support team's email. Sometimes you may be rushing, you're trying to get back to the stream and you type your email in wrong. Also, as soon as you purchase, the link to open the book is right there. So it'll say open the book below. You can save it to your computer. But I would rather you get it for $24 than $97. Although we've sold a lot at $97 because people feel it's worth every dime. You're going to save thousands and thousands of dollars for the rest of your life using what's in the book. Your first transaction, you probably save $4,000 to $6,000 to $8,000 depending on the car. So $97 is great, but $24 is even better. All right. And for those of you who have a different learning style, you'll see in there, shop with Deshone. You're more of a do it with you person. Do it with me, Deshone. Okay. We have lifetime access to shop with Deshone, and I coach you personally for 6 months. So we jump on Zoom calls twice a month. And some of you who may qualify for done for you, just do it for me. If you qualify for that, we have a welcome special for that too of $300 off. So get in where you fit. And those of you who are new or you're like, Deshone, I like what you're talking about, but I still don't trust you. You can start with our free cheat sheets. So just start somewhere so that you can start to reinvent how you're car shopping. Magley, how are you? Oh man, of course I remember you. Following for years. You actually were following me from the time God blew me up on TikTok. That was 2021. So I absolutely remember you and I appreciate you. And yes, it's so good to see you. Absolutely. Absolutely good to see you. All right, Dolan, we got a couple more questions. We got time for a couple more. Let's try to go as fast as possible. The discount for the book is not working. It says time ran out. It's 30 minutes. I don't know. I don't know. Y'all help me out. I don't know what to do with that. I'm sorry. If the welcome offer for $24 was not really 30 minutes, then that means I'm just lying to you. You know what I mean? I'm just like, oh yeah, it's 30 minutes, but come back in 2 hours and it'll still be, you know what I mean? It's, start with the cheat sheets. You know what I'm saying? Like start with the cheat sheets. Get yourself your free cheat sheets, start there. And when you feel better about working with us in some capacity, you go to the next step. Start with the free cheat sheets. All right, let's go, Dolan. So I'm a new driver. Should I be looking to be an 8-year person or a lease person? Well, I'll tell you this. I got 3 young adults. My daughter, my daughter who's 18, my niece who's 20, and then a young man that I, basically like a son to me who's in the Navy and he's 21. Well, he'll be 21 this year. So he's 20. Now, they all called me in the last 3 months because my daughter's getting her license. My daughter didn't call me. She's getting her license in the next, in June. And we've all talked about this. How should I get this car? Now, my situation when I was 22, I'd already bought a $500 Mitsubishi Eclipse. Transmission went out on me probably after 6 months. And then I bought a buy here, pay here car. This is before I got into the car business. I got into the car business, I was 22, working for Pontiac GMC Buick. So I get this buy here, pay here car. It was a quality Chevrolet Cavalier. I didn't know anything about cars, so I went to a local spot. They said, hey, put down this, just pay us $50 a week. So I did that. But 22, I had my daughter, and my boss says to me, hey, why don't you lease something? And I was already selling cars, but I just didn't think, could I, could I even, qualify for a lease? I don't even know what I was selling them, but I'm just literally doing what most salesmen do. All right, he wants to lease. All right, what's the payment? Yeah, tell him it's this. All right, perfect. They said it's that. Oh, that's a little too high. All right, they said it's a little too high. All right, so that's what I was doing. I didn't really understand anything. That's most car salesmen. So I end up getting a Pontiac G6. I'm 22. I paid $256 a month. Now it would have been less, but I didn't get a tier 1 approval because I didn't have. I think my credit was like mid sixes at that point. And you really want to be over 670 to get most of the tier 1 approvals. But it would only raise my payment maybe $25. Wasn't a lot. Now I'm 22. I'm driving a brand new 2007. It's still 2006. 2007, I'm pulling up, brand new car, full warranty, $256 a month. At the same time, I have a friend, got a vehicle, Toyota, financed it, went in. She had, we had she had a young child, a little older than us, maybe 1 or 2 years older than us. And then she goes and she purchases a car, $500 a month. She didn't get ripped. That's what a $20,000, $22,000 car costs. She got a Corolla. $500 a month. We're 22. Plus insurance. This is enough to break a young person, young family. I'm paying $256, she's paying $500. That right there. When I tell people that story, it's amazing to me how many people will say, Deshone, when I got my first car, my parents took me out. We financed this car. We financed this. I was paying $400, $500, $600 a month. Whether the parents were paying some of it, or they were paying some of it, or they were paying all of it. Thank you, Kathy. Appreciate you sharing. So this is what all of them, all three, well, 2 of them. I don't know about the young man. Because his parents. I'm not going to override your parents. And if your parents tell you that they think you should buy a used car or buy a good, then okay. But I'm just telling you, when you see my daughter and you see my niece pull up in brand new cars and they have low payments and they don't have to worry about getting stranded on the road, hey, call the tow truck. Do we still have a warranty on this thing? So I would be again, 8-year rule. Because if I've had young people in their early 20s who are like, I'm not even into cars. Like, I'm going to buy this and I'm going to keep this car. Like, I'll keep it 8-10 years. And I've had some people who they know when they get a better job, when they move to this, they're going to start a family. They're probably not going to keep the car 8 years. So it still goes back to the 8-year rule. Always. Always. Most people should be leasing their cars. That's how I did very well throughout my 20s. Praise the Lord, because I did not have high car payments. I didn't have cars breaking down on me where I had to be like, oh man, couldn't get to work today. Not many 20-year-olds, 23-year-olds are keeping cars 8 years. So when you're putting them in used cars, you're really setting them up for failure in a lot of cases, compared to if they were just leasing, getting look, because some people be like, wow, are $300 car payments still out there? Oh yeah, they're still out there. Just you just are shopping for the right car. I know India had her look, Rosalie, she's in our done with you video checklist and coaching program, like Cars from Home. She's, this is our Facebook group she's commenting from. 3 vehicles she got, all for her sons, all of them. A Nissan Rogue, $399 a month. That's a $36,600 car. She got a Mazda CX-30. That's a $28,200 car. Payments $339 a month. $339 a month. And then she got a Mazda CX-50 for her other son, $40,000. On top, we haven't even talked about the equity and leases and selling leases and, you know, really maximize her equity, because she said she got $6,700 selling 2 of the old leases. $6,700. Drove the cars for 3 years, had equity, bid it out, sold 2 of them, $6,700. You're probably like, Deshone, I didn't even know you could sell a lease. My question is, how much has that cost you? So when you're looking at investing in anything we're doing, be it my book, be it Shop with Deshone, our video checklist and coaching, be it our Done For You program, one thing that we do covers everything. Your first deal, if you're moving, you're gonna be like, shoot, I got everything I just invested back times 10. That's what we hold ourselves accountable to. Just her equity alone, she made $6,700 selling 2 cars. Didn't even know I could sell leases, and I just put $6,700 in my pocket selling 2 leases. Whoa. So $300 payments. Those would be perfect cars for young people. $339, that's with no money down. Imagine if she wanted to put another $2,500 down, bring the payment down to, $275. This is the way to be moving. And those of you who are getting this, are you getting this? If you're getting this, type some dollar signs. Who's getting this? Who's getting this? Type dollar signs in the chat. Who's getting it? Let's go. Who's locked in? All right. I see you, Mario. I see you, Dane. I see you, Terry Carter. I see you. Who's getting this? Who else is getting it? Who else is locked in? A lot of y'all on here. Listen. I see you, DJ and Nice. I see you, Arms Reach. And I can tell the people that's locked in, because they be like, all right, Deshone, you said you're here for 90 minutes. I know we got about 3 minutes left. I mean, I'm hanging for this whole thing. I don't want to miss anything. Shout out to the people that are locked in. All right. Go ahead, Dolan. Should the out-the-door price include your trade? First of all, that's a curse word. All right, we're going to go back to that, because I got out of saying that for a while. We do not trade cars. So you probably just popped in maybe about 30 minutes ago on the stream. We were talking about the 3 pillars of great car deals: who you buy your car from, who you sell your car to, who you get your loan from. You in order to get a great deal, a below market deal, you must get a great deal from each one, which means you bid out each one. I bid out, got multiple offers for who I was going to buy my car from. I got multiple offers for who I was going to get my loan from. I got multiple offers for who I was going to sell my car to. I bid out everything, therefore I got my great deal. If you bid out this, but you don't bid out this, and somebody you get an interest rate of 7.1 when you could have got an interest rate of 5.2, you lost $2,000. Depending on the cost of your loan, how much you're financing, you lost $2,000. Yeah, you did a bid on who you bought the car from, or you didn't bid out your trade, therefore you didn't find the highest bidder. You traded your car for 14, another bidder would have paid you 18. You lost $4,000. So you got to bid out everything. That's why we do not trade. The only people that have to trade are people with a lot of negative equity who can't pay off the difference. And that's why I am the reason for negative equity is not understanding leasing. You buy your cars, take out loans, switch the car. Negative equity. It's literally the reason for negative equity is I should have leased, but I didn't. Now I have negative equity because I'm replacing this car with a loan still on it. So out the door price will not include your other car. And if I was trading a car, then yes, the out the door price would include the trade. But because we do not trade cars, our out the door prices don't include the trade. Let me show you an example of what our out the door prices look like. So these are some spreadsheets for our Done For You program where we shop for clients. You can see here, this is we shop for a Subaru for this particular client. In this case, look, and you can see the MSRPs for this car is an inexpensive car, $27,000, $26,000. Look at the out the door prices, 29, 30, 30, 29, 29. These are all out the door prices with the taxes and fees. So you can see these dealers are giving either no discount or a little discount. 27 out the door price is 30,000. But look at the winner. Look at the winner. This particular dealer won the bid at this particular time. They're not going to win the bid all the time. In this particular case, they needed the unit. 27,900 is the MSRP. Out the door price is 27,463. The out the door price is lower than the MSRP. How? Because they took off almost $4,000 in discounts. Almost $4,000 in discount. So every time you shop for your used cars or new cars, this is how you should be shopping. If you're not leasing, this is how you should be shopping. I'm getting multiple offers, out the door prices, comparing who gave me the best offer. Who gave me the best offer? Oh, look, Daniel Thompson said, D, I'm bidding out to sell my car and got a $4,000 swing from the lowest to the highest bid. This is the people who you listen. If I can bring them on and have them talk, they would be talking to y'all about how different this is. I didn't bring you here on a Tuesday afternoon, or you're not watching this. If you're watching the replay later on Tuesday, or maybe, Wednesday morning, we go live at 12 noon, Monday through Thursday. So we replay the show just for everyone who missed it. You can send all your friends, family, go to Deshone the Auto Advisor's pages, watch the replay from today's show. But they know this is, I didn't bring you here to talk to you about hundreds of dollars. We are talking thousands of dollars at all times. There is never anything that we talk about that is hundreds. Let someone else talk to you about how you can save a couple hundred more per month. We might be talking about hundreds per month. That might be the only time we're talking about hundreds, $200 per month. But other than that, which equals thousands. We're not here to figure out how we're going to save $50 this month. No, this is big, huge money. So thank you, Daniel. Thank you for tapping in with that information. So, all right, listen, guys. Everything we teach is in a step-by-step format, because when it's not step-by-step, you'll get overwhelmed. When it's step-by-step, you can challenge yourself to stay right on this step, check it off, move to the next step. Check it off, move to the next step. Step 7 in our Cars from Home process is delivery. Step 6 is paperwork. Step 1 is the most important question, which is the 8-year rule. It's literally called the most important question. 8-year rule. How many years are you keeping the next car? Step 2 is the equity assessment. That's why you heard Wendell in his book testimonial. He said, I just completed the equity assessment and we got 30% more than the book value. Bidding it out. He said, I'm about to move to the next step. So everything we teach is step. Step 3 is deal structure, where we budget and we see, all right, how much car can we afford? What does a good deal look like? Step 4, we go shopping, which is choosing what we want. Shopping, looking, doing. We're not buying it. We're shopping the market. We're test driving. We are literally choosing what we want. Shopping, enjoying shopping. Step 5 is multiple offers. That's when we're in talking to dealers online, getting offers, getting bids. Step 6 is paperwork and protection to make sure that the offer we got is legit. We tied it up. Paperwork is right. We go over extended warranties, tire and wheel, maintenance plans. Do we need them? Key protection. Do we need any of this stuff? And step 7 is delivery. It is a step-by-step path. That is how people win. They're not coming into some college to learn how to be a car salesman or to learn everything I know. No, it's a path. So if you want the blueprint in book form, that's my digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps of Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Normally $97, part of our 30-minute welcome offer. You can get yours for $24 in my TikTok bio, Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, and the Facebook comments. Click those links and then click the special $24 welcome offer. It's good for 30 minutes. And you'll save 75%. If for those of you who are like, Deshone, what about that video checklist? That is our shop done with you program. Cars from home, done with you. You get lifetime access to everything we teach, all our below market videos, and it's short videos. I want you guys getting cars in 90 minutes. 90 minutes. Not shopping. The shopping might take you longer. Deciding what you want, you might be doing that for 2 months. But once you decide what you want, I want you to be able to get below market deals in 90 minutes. That's how I do it. We're not hours and hours to get these car deals. Some of these deals we make in literally 45 minutes over a 3-day period. So that is how we do it. And you'll have access to our coaching program. We do Zoom calls twice a month, first and third Wednesday. And you have a Facebook group with 1,600 people in it that have come before you in the last 3 years. And then for those of you who qualify for shop with done for me, just do it for me, Deshone. New cars and leases only. Credit score has to be over 670 FICO. Book a call with our team. Let's see if we can help you. All of those have welcome specials. The book is 75% off welcome special. Shop with Deshone is $200 off welcome special for 48 hours. And done for you is $300 off for 72 hours. All welcome specials for people to say, all right, I'm taking action. I'm going to take advantage of a lower investment for taking action immediately. And for those of you who you're still new here, you're like, Deshone, I like the information, but I need to get, can I get some free advice first? Let me test out some free advice. You can, of course, go download our cheat sheets, and that's there as well. All of that is in the Cars from Home Toolkit. So always a pleasure. We will be back tomorrow, 12 noon. Please mark your calendars, tell your friends, bring a friend, and we'll continue to, we'll continue to do what we do and try to make sure you guys have everything you need to win every car you get. I want you sending pictures with the numbers. You know you've done it right when every car you get, you have pictures with the numbers. You know people who purchase cars all the time, all post their pictures. Hey, had to upgrade. Oh, just got this. Hey, had to treat myself. Oh, watch it now. But you never see the numbers because they really are not confident in the numbers. They don't want to talk about the numbers. Everybody who shops with us, whether you're getting our book, whether you're using our stuff, and sometimes people who they piece together my social media videos and they'll get it done. But they are sending the numbers. Look at what I paid for this car. Not only did I get a great car, but look at the deal I got on the car. That's when you know, all right, you understand this thing. All right, have a great day, y'all. See you tomorrow. And if you couldn't make the whole broadcast, feel free to watch the replay. We'll be replaying it throughout the day until tomorrow's show. All right, have a great day, y'all. Thank you. God bless you.